which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety, otherwise he could not have repeated births. Purport. As the gross cosmic manifestation is conceived as the gigantic body of the Lord, so also there is the conception of his subtle form, which is simply realized without being seen, heard, or manifested. But in fact, all these gross or subtle conceptions of the body are in relation with the living beings. The living beings has a spiritual form beyond this gross material or subtle psychic existence. The gross body and psychic functions cease to act as soon as the living being leaves the visible gross body. In fact, we say that the living being has gone away because he is unseen and unheard. Even when the gross body is not acting, when the living being is in sound sleep, we know that he is within the body by his breathing. So, the living beings passing away from the bodies does not mean that there is no existence of the living soul. It is there, otherwise how can he repeat his births again and again? The conclusion is that the Lord is eternally existent in his transcendental form, which is neither gross nor subtle like that of the living being. His body is never to be compared to the gross and subtle bodies of the living being. All such conceptions of God's body are imaginary. The living being has his eternal spiritual form, which is conditioned only by his material contamination. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Ramane Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Ataf Param Yadavyaktam Avyuda Guna Brahmitam Adrishta Shruta Vastutvat Sajivo Yat Punarbhavaha. Translation again. Beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard, and unmanifest. The living being has his form beyond this subtlety, otherwise he could not have repeated births. Hare Krishna. So here in this chapter, all the incarnations are described. So after describing all the incarnations, finally it said Krishna is the Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the source of all incarnations. So after that it is said about the universal form. So the universal form, the form is not eternal form. It is not. It's a temporary material manifestation. Because as soon as you see many people, if you say God also has form, then immediately they think about, he also has a form like us, a material form, conditioned, controlled by the material modes of nature. He is also like us. So then neophytes, they cannot understand what is actually the form of the Supreme Lord. So Supreme Lord has his eternal spiritual form, which is completely different from what we have, the material form. So we have a gross material body and then subtle body, and then soul is covered by these two bodies. So the Lord's body is not like this. So in the purport at the end, Prabhupada clearly says that the conclusion is that the Lord is eternally existent in his transcendental form, which is neither gross or subtle like that of the living being. His body is never to be compared to the gross and subtle bodies of the living being. So this is completely different. We cannot compare at all with living being's body. So all such conceptions of God's body are imaginary. So here the Virat Rupa, the universal form, which is shown by the Lord, which is imaginary form. So I said all the lower planetary systems and middle planetary system, higher planetary systems, all this the whole universal body is compared with the Lord's body. So it is said all the mountains and this thing. So there is a comparison in the universe. So the universal body is an imaginary body. So for the neophytes, they may not be able to conceive this. They cannot perceive this. The Lord also has a form. So but He has an eternal spiritual form, transcendental form, which is not under these modes of material nature. So for that, for the neophytes, the Lord has shown this universal form. And also, we can say, many people say that, no, I am God. So then show universal form. So because Krishna has said that, no, nothing is equal to me, nothing is higher than me. So then He showed His universal form to prove that He is the Supreme Lord. So whoever is claiming that I am incarnation of God, then they should show the universal form. So here in this particular verse, it is said, beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception of form, which is without formal shape and is unseen, unheard and unmanifest. So here the point is the living entity, the soul, we are the soul. Our identity is beyond this gross and subtle. So we are not, we are not part of this gross or subtle. We are beyond this gross and subtle form. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Bhumira panalo vayu kammano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakritir ashtada. So there are bhinna prakritir ashtada. So there are 8 separated energies of the Lord. What are those? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, intelligence and false ego. These 8 elements are there. These are external elements, material elements. These are separated energies of the Lord. Okay? This is separated energies, external energies. This is gross and subtle elements. Okay. But then Krishna says, Apareyam itasvanyam prakritim viddhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yedam jaryate jagat. So there is another energy which is superior energy, which is not part of this gross and subtle matter. This is superior. This is not material, this is spiritual, Krishna says. So besides this, there is another superior energy of mind which comprises the living entities who are exploiting the resources of material inferior nature. So the inferior nature is earth, water, fire, air, ether, all these gross and subtle elements, and the superior nature is the soul, we, the living entities. So here in the translation it is said, the living beings has his form beyond this subtlety, otherwise he could not have repeated births and deaths. So we don't have any like gross or subtle identity. Our original identity is spiritual. Our original identity is we are part and parcel of Krishna. Mamaivamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana. So we are eternally part and parcel of Krishna. So that is our original identity, superior, spiritual. So gross things we can conceive. So like we said, gross elements, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So in Bhagavatam it is mentioned that earth is there. Finer than earth is water. And finer than water is fire. finer than fire is air, and finer than air is ether. So like you see, there are 5 qualities in each of them. So earth, from the earth the quality comes smell, and then water taste, fire form, and then air touch, then ether sound. Okay. So then in ether only sound is there, because that is very finest element. And if you come little further, air, in air touch is also there, sound is also there. Air, when the air comes you can hear the sound, and when the air touches you can feel also, the touch we can feel. And then fire, there is a sound also, all 3 elements are there, form is also there, and like that it is in the earth all 5 are there. So it's more finer, earth, water, fire, air, ether. So even finer is the subtle elements. So mind, intelligence and false ego, these are subtle elements. So these subtle elements we cannot see, we cannot hear, there is no sound, no, it's unmanifest. There is no perception in this. The gross elements we can see, we can perceive in some form, but the subtle elements are it's unmanifest. We cannot see this. It is more finer. So like for example, you can see my body, like you can see my head, hand and all this, but can you see my mind? You cannot see my mind. It is subtle element. We cannot see, we cannot hear. You cannot say that what I am thinking in my mind. We cannot hear. It is unmanifest. So there are 2 coverings. This gross body is there, which we can see, earth, water, fire, earth. And then subtle body, mind, intelligence and false ego. And beyond this gross and subtle is soul. We are there. So we are covered by these 2 coverings, 2 bodies. That's why in the translation it is said, beyond this gross conception of form is another subtle conception, which is without formal shape, unseen, unheard and unmanifest. So the subtle form we cannot directly perceive. So the living being has his form beyond the subtle. So this is beyond gross and subtle. So the point here is the living entity, the soul, is beyond the gross and subtle element. So in the Bhagavad Gita it is said, Indriyani paranyahur indriyabhya paramanaha manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe parasastataha. So it is said the working senses are superior to dull matter, mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. So there is a hierarchy given. There is a senses, and senses, first matter, the dull matter is there. So the senses are superior than dull matter, and the hierarchy is given. Matter is there, senses, and then intelligence, mind, and then soul. The hierarchy is given. So in that purport, Prabhupada explains from a verse in the Upanishad. There is a chariot example is given. You might have heard this many times. The chariot is compared to the body, and the horses are compared to the senses, and the rope which is controlling the horse is mind, and the driver who is controlling the rope is intelligence, and the passenger who is sitting behind is the soul. So the hierarchy, the soul is superior, superior to this dull matter, senses, mind, intelligence. So the soul is spiritual, is not part of this gross and subtle, is superior, but the soul is covered by this gross and subtle elements. So we are not able to perceive that spiritual, the superior nature we are not able to perceive, because it is covered by these modes, three modes of material nature. Now we are like a puppets. In olden days they show drama with using some dolls, So with the rope it is controlled. How the rope is controlled, the person is controlling, the doll acts like that. So now we are spiritual, we are superior, but now we are not able to experience that superior nature because we are covered by this inferior nature. That is the quality of the living entity. We are prone to fall down. So we are Jita, means conquerable, but Krishna is not like that. So here in the purport, Prabhupada explains that the conclusion is that the Lord is eternally existent in his transcendental form, which is neither gross nor subtle like that of the living being. His body is never to be compared to the gross and subtle bodies of the living being, because our body is covered by this gross and subtle, this three modes of material nature. We are controlled by these three modes of material nature. That's why we are not able to experience that superior nature. But the Lord is not like that. He is transcendental always. Eternally he is transcendental. That's why he is Ajita. Ajita means nobody can conquer. So his body is transcendental. So that our our material existence, it's always changing. So it is like material things always destroy. So now we have this building. This building, if I burn this building, it will become ash. So again it will not come back. It destroyed, that's it, finish. But the soul is not like this. It is said in Bhagavad Gita, a soul cannot be burnt, soul cannot be diluted, soul cannot be moistened, soul cannot be cut into pieces. So there is no destruction for the soul. We cannot be destroyed. But now we are experiencing that no, I'm going to die, because we are covered by this subtle and gross. Even though we are beyond this gross and subtle, but we are not able to conceive that. So even this body is burnt, this body will destroy, but we will not destroy. So Prabhupada gives one very famous example. Everyone knows, but we are not able to realize that. So repeatedly we have to hear. See, now also in kitchen, that lecture was going on. We are not this body, we are soul. Prabhupada is saying repeatedly again and again, because we know this theoretically, but practically we are not able to realize this. So Prabhupada says example that father has died. Everyone is crying, oh my father died. But father is lying there. His body is lying here. Where he is gone. Then everyone is saying that he has gone. But he is lying there. But so then Prabhupada says that you have never seen your father. So you have seen this body, this material body, the material lump. But the father is now gone to the another body. When this body is no longer useful, we will leave this body and take another body. So this is very important. This is a very the ABCD of spiritual life, you can say. So we have to understand this, that we are not this body, and we are not this gross and subtle. We are beyond this. So in there is a conversation, Prabhupada morning walk, where Satsarupa Maharaj, he was asking a question, that in Bhagavad Gita, that verse is there, Vashamsi jirnani yata vihaya navani grihanadi naroparani. So now we wear this dress. So when this dress is old or torn, we change the dress. So in same way, when this body is no longer useful, we throw this body and take another body. So Prabhupada explained that. Then Satswarup Maharaj asked the question, so you explain this. So Prabhupada explained that even in this life, we are changing the body. Every moment our body is changing. So scientifically they say that it is growing, but it is not growing, it is changing every moment. Prabhupada says, so then many ask the question that, see now in this life, in this body we can perceive that. So now when I was young, my body was young, my hands were small and everything. But then after some time the body is changed. It is completely different body. If I see my 5-year-old body, it is completely different. It is different body. So then when I become old, again it is changing. So now in this life I can perceive this. But when I change this, when I leave this body and go to another body, but I am not able to, I am not able to remember this. I am not able to perceive this. How can I understand this? So someone asked a question to Maharaj and Maharaj asked to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada said that, so as we discussed, there is a gross body and subtle body is there. So when we die in the sense, when this body is dying, we burn this body, the gross body is burnt, the gross body is destroyed, but the subtle body is not destroyed. The subtle body is there till we get liberate from this material conditioned life, till we go back to spiritual world, till that time we have this subtle body. Because in this life, whatever karma we are doing, whatever we have desire, according to that we have a next body. Okay. Now depends on our desire and karma, we are choosing our next body. Now where these desires are stored? In the mind. So then the subtle body is required. In the subtle body all the desires are stored. So then according to that we get another gross body, the next gross body. Then when we get another body, like for example next body we may get a dog body or cat body, like that. So then when we get a new body, if we remember that last life I was a human being, so now because of my desire, my karma, I became a dog. So then I cannot enjoy that dog's life. So dogs, you see on the road, they bark, and if you come, they bark, hey, why you came here, they fight. They are enjoying that dog's life, dog's body they are enjoying. But if you remember that previous life I was a human being, now I became a dog, then you cannot enjoy. So it is a maya, the illusion, it covers all the remembrance and everything. So that's why it is said, otherwise he could not have repeated births. Repeated births because of the subtle body. Subtle body, in the subtle body all the desires are stored. So according to that we have a gross body. So this is the point we should understand, that we are beyond this gross and subtle things. We are spiritual. So there was in Bhagavatam there is one story, King Chitraketu. You might have heard. So Chitraketu, he was a very opulent king, and everything is there. But still he is not feeling content. Some dissatisfaction is there. So then he went to, who is that? There is one Rishi, Angira Rishi or someone, I don't remember his name. So he went to that Rishi. He said, no, I have everything, all my opulence is there, I'm a king, everything is there, but still I don't have a son. So you please bless me so that I can have a son. So then he said, okay, you do this yajna, you do this sacrifice, so you will get a son. So then he did sacrifice, he got a son, everyone is happy, everyone is enjoying, the son came, then whole the kingdom is celebrating, the king is born. Then he has many wives. So then he got a son through a particular wife. So then he started caring so much to that particular wife and the son. So he is too much into that particular wife. So then other wives, they got little envious. Oh, why he is going to her only, and he is not caring about us. So then like they all, because of envy, they poisoned that child. Then the child took poison and died. So then they were so disturbed, and they are so morose. So then after that, the Rishi came with Narada Muni. So then again he asked that Rishi and Narada Muni that I got a son, and now son is died. So you please do something, because you are all great rishis, very powerful rishis. So you can do anything. So you please bring back my son. So then okay, as you wish, let him come back. Then the boy came back. Yes. Then Narada Muni asked, you see, you left your father and mother, they are all very disturbed, and why you went? So then the father asked, the son asked, which father? So I have taken millions and billions of births. I had many millions of mother, father. So which father you are talking about? So many lives, I was a dog, I was a cat, I was a human being. I had many father, many mother. So which mother you are talking about? So through this, Bhagavatam teaches us that our relationship, whatever we have, this is all bodily relationship. Whatever father, mother, friends, relationship, everything is connected to this body. So when this body is destroyed, all the relationship is gone. So then we are put into a different situation and different set of people, different relationship, everything is different. So now it's like a drama, it's going on. So this is not permanent, this is all a temporary arrangement. This is all illusion. We are thinking that this is my mother, my this thing, my family. So then the same Leela is also there in the Chaitanya Leela. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did Sankirtan in the Srivas Thakur's house, when Krishna came, he did Rasa Leela whole night. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, he did Sankirtan whole night. Sankirtan is considered as Rasa Leela, that is so elevated. So whoever is participated in the Sankirtan movement, they are in the Chaitanya Leela. So now Sankirtan is happening whole night, and there is some disturbance. Srivas Thakur, his son, died. Then everyone is disturbed, but Srivas Thakur, he didn't show that his son died, because if I show, then Sankirtan will get disturbed. Then Mahaprabhu will not be able to continue his Sankirtan. So then he didn't say anything, and it is going on, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu found out something is going on. So then he asked Srivas Thakur what is happening. Then he said, my son died. So then again the same thing happened. Everyone is crying, all the mother and all the relatives are crying, oh, my son has died. Then Mahaprabhu brought him back. Then again the son asked the same question, which mother you are talking about? So this is not just a story. These are the incident to tell us, to instruct us, to educate us that we are not this body, and we are beyond this gross and subtle elements. We are spiritual, we are superior. So then in Bhagavatam there is one analogy is given that, so recently we were in Mayapur, we took birth in Ganga. So when we go to Ganga, we see that, okay, here is Ganga. So but here is not Ganga, the water is flowing continuously. So now water is here, and the next moment water is traveling, it is going further. So we cannot say that this is the water of Ganga. This water is continuously flowing. So in that way, our body is continuously changing. We are continuously changing the bodies. If we are not this body, we are beyond this body. We are soul. Then in the next verse it is mentioned, if you light a candle, the fire comes from the candle, it comes from the candle and immediately it is extinguishing. So the fire, this is not the fire of the candle. The fire, it is starting from there and ending, it is vanishing. So every moment the new fire is coming, it is not the same fire. In same way, in this life we are continuously changing the body, it is not the same body, we are changing, and when this body is destroyed, we take a new body, another body, we go to new. So this cycle is going on. So the human form of life is a special body. In this body we can understand these things, that I am not a material lump, I am not a gross material body, I am something superior, soul. So generally in the West they say, I am body and I have a soul. So that is actually opposite. I am soul, I have a body. So these things we understand from the Shastras, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, instructing us through many ways, through many incidents, many analogies. We have to understand this, and then understanding this, that we are not this body, we are soul, that is not the end. So that is a common platform. Even everyone practices this. Even impersonal philosophers, they also say that we are not this body, we are soul. So then after understanding this, the further understanding is what is the activity of the soul. As we see now, everyone is serving somebody. Father is serving son, son is serving father, and wife is serving husband, and government servant is serving the government and the people, and the president is serving the people of the country. Everyone is serving someone. Nobody can say that I am not serving anyone. So that is the nature of the soul. The soul's nature is to serve someone. So now the question is, whom we are serving? So here, Jivera Swarup Hai Krishnera Nityadas. We are eternal servant of Krishna. We are meant to serve Krishna. So now we are not serving Krishna, we are serving Maya. We are serving illusion. So now the question is, we are serving Krishna or Maya? So after understanding that we are not this body, we are soul, and the further understanding is we are servant of Krishna, we have to serve Krishna. So that is the perfection of life. So this all we understand theoretically, and practically also we should try to realize this. And how to realize this? By engaging in the service of the Lord. So the ultimate end is we have to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. And how to engage in the devotional service of the Lord? By engaging in the devotional service of the Lord. So there are three things, Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. Sambandha is you understand the relationship between you and God. So after understanding, you have to re-establish the relationship, and after re-establishing the relationship, the result is the Prayojana. Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojana. So here in Bhakti, in devotional service, the Abhideya and Prayojana are same. The process to re-establish the relationship and the result is same. So by engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, we re-establish the relationship, and after re-establishing the relationship, the result is the devotional service. So from the Shastras, we have to understand that we have to engage in the devotional service of the Lord, and by engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, we can stop this repeated births and deaths and then go back to spiritual world. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments regarding this?
In the example of the river, water is flowing continuously. We say that at any point we cannot say this is the water of Ganga. So someone may ask that actually it is the water of Ganga constantly flowing. So all of the water, whatever is flowing, all of that is water of Ganga only. Similarly, it means although this is constantly we are getting new body, constantly changing, but all the changed bodies which we got, all are our bodies only, he may ask, means of that particular person. So then how to understand this?
No, all the water is water of Ganga, but the person who is seeing at this particular point, he is pointing out to this water, this is the water of Ganga. Then next moment it is changing and new water is coming there. So his perception is, no, he is thinking that this is the water. Like if you take the example of fire, the fire example, the candle, it is starting from there, then it is vanishing, it is no more, the fire is no more. The new fire has come up. So that day with Prabhu also there is a discussion, no, the body is continuously changing, but the modern theories, they say that it is growing. But every moment, now even scientifically also it is proved, every moment our cells are changing, and they say, like how many years? 7 years. After 7 years, the brain cells takes longer time to replace. So after 7 years, even the brain cells are completely changed, it is completely new body. So in that way, even they are not fully accepting, but still in some extent we can say they are also accepting that it is changing. It is not the same body, it is changing. And with the water example and the fire example also we can understand it is changing. It is not the same one. Yes. Hope I explained. Any other question? Hare Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
What is his own? He asked something is not